Hi everyone, I'm JD from Willowbound Journals, and I have got a whole bunch of beautiful handmade packs that are now up in my Etsy. We've got the loaded ephemera folders or holders, we've got the vintage French collage covers, we've got these wonderful envelope packs and some handmade embellishment packs. So I'll go through them each one by one. We'll start with these ones. I had made some of these last year at different times and put them in my Etsy. I did an extra loaded version, so filled these pockets with as many fun little goodies of stickers and labels. So there's some book pages there, there's a bag there, different cards, doily, paint chip, envelope, so lots of different types of pieces, tickets, die cut, so lots and lots of goodies, postcard. So just trying to look at everything that's in these pockets. So all the things that I love using in my journals, you know, that the washi stickers or the transparent stickers. This one's the washi one here, the stamp. Different things for collage and just putting in pockets and stickers, all different fun things. So there are 4 of those left. I believe there were 7 originally. Then we have the collage covers that I showed in a previous video. There is the purple set, the gold set, the blue set, and then the orange or yellow set, and they come in sets of 2, so you get the 2 of the same color with each other. The printable versions also in my Etsy and Patreon, so there are those. Then we have, let's go into this one here first. So my idea this year, I'm using the treasures finally, and I usually put all of these into the journals that I make, but this time I wanted to make some packs, maybe for those who don't want a whole journal, but they just want the fun ephemera to play with and add to their own journals that they've made. And so we have here one of my embellished envelopes, and the original idea was for the pieces to fit into the envelopes, but then I kind of went overboard and just couldn't stop putting things together, so I have 2 envelopes instead of 1. This is another one that I absolutely love and decorated, and I love it. I love it. And then we've got a whole bunch of different handmade goodies and collage. So this is one of my tags here, the larger size, so I've got different size tags. They're sewed onto a manila folder. That's how I like doing it, so they're quite sturdy but not too thick, and then you can write onto the back. We've got florals and butterflies, all my favorite things, and all the different sizes. We've got journal cards, again this one, and all different styles represented, so it could be like an inspiration pack or an ideas pack. This one I've done collage with a masterboard, and then I went over it with tissue paper. I believe I've got tutorials on all of these things of how I've made all of these, so feel free to check that out. Otherwise, what I like doing as well, instead of following a video for a tutorial, I do the lazy version where I just buy the piece and then work out how to do it through just looking at it, rather than, or I might even freeze frame a video because I can't be bothered watching a whole tutorial and stopping and pausing and rewinding and all of that, and I'll just kind of freeze frame a photo. I might even take like a screenshot, and that way I can sort of put my own spin on it that way, so I'm not following the tutorial to a T. I'm just using it as inspiration and a way to get ideas flowing and figure out my own way of doing it, if that makes sense. So yeah, it just gives you the general gist of an idea, and then you run with it and go with it. So this is one of my pocket book pages, and just doing a little collage on it. I don't know, I love it. I love how it almost looks like with that stamp like an envelope there. So lots of goodies. This is another one of my collage pieces. Again, I sort of wish I kept one of each thing for myself, but this is where I cut out some magazine images and just sewed them onto coffee dye paper, and they make wonderful journal cards. So anytime I go to an op shop, looking out for gardening books with the florals. And so you can make wonderful journal cards like that. Oh, this is one of my favorites as well. I forgot I made these. So lovely. Another collage piece there, journal card. Then we have this one here with a smaller sticker, but you can see the variety of different book pages there, the different color tones and textures, not textures, color tones. One of my vellum pockets. So all my favorite things. Love, love, love. Wallpaper pocket, and then stamping on vellum is another thing that I like doing. So it kind of represents all the different ways that I like to make my embellishments, and if I was to put together a journal with all of the embellishments, then that's what would go in. So let's gather that all together. There's a few of those in my Etsy shop as well, kind of sharing the love of embellishments. So there we go. And then with the envelope pack, my idea here was to represent all the different types of envelopes that I like using in my journals. So I've shared a few videos on my channel showing tutorials of how I make these envelopes, and also videos showing how I use them in my journals, whether I turn them into a cover or into pocket pages or flips or flaps onto the page, or sewing directly onto a page so you have the pocket like a double pocket. So I've got quite a few videos showing how I make them, how I use them. If you want to check that out as well, you just use the search bar and type envelope in there and all the videos will come up. Same with anything else. If you're like, how do I make that ephemera holder, just type ephemera holder. If you want to know how to make the collages, just type vintage French collages. But basically this is kind of a sampling pack of all the different ways that I like to make and use envelopes. So this one's using a book page, and I did a tutorial of this one. That was my latest tutorial, so I do know I definitely did this as a tutorial. Some lace on the flap and then some fabric here, but you could do anything: book page, stamping, collage, but I've done fabric on this one. This is a version of stamping, so again, vintage French book page for the backdrop, and then some stamping with a frame and a key stamp, which I love. This is one of those ones where I might fold it over either by glue or paper clip. This one I could either do the same thing, or usually how I use this one is just directly onto the page, so it's a double pocket, one here and one here. Same idea with this. This one's with a napkin though. Show you a different way to use envelopes or decorate them is with a napkin. A napkin, if I can say it. One of my favorite ways. I've given you some blank ones so you can play with these yourself if you want to experiment with your own napkins or fabric or book pages. Or honestly, I like using them just as is as well. So some of them I like to decorate if I'm doing like a botanical garden journal, for example. If I'm just doing a junky journal, like a random eclectic journal, that's when I would just keep them as is, and I like preserving them so you can see what you're actually using. It's quite fun, but you know, options, you can use it as is or decorate. I like coffee dyeing envelopes too. Sometimes I'll just leave it like that in a journal, just like a nice basic vintage kind of journal that I want just neutrals in. I might just do that. Otherwise you can collage, do whatever you want over the top of that as well. Getting these packs mixed up. First day of issue, I'm down to my last couple, and I got a whole big basket of these when I was doing some vintage shopping, and I want to share out one of those. So first day of issue, envelopes are cool. Now this is one where I fold it over in half, and that's how I make my pocket pages, and I love this for interactive pages in my journals. And I've just used a napkin there, but again, you can decorate them however you want. And I've got these two again, so what you saw in the other pack I've got here. These two envelopes that I've decorated. Then this kind of vintage style envelope, how I use this, I either sew it directly onto the page or I open it up to turn it into a page in a journal. And then they all have a different coloured envelope, some craft cream, brown paper like this, or teal. They've all got a different one. So they're a pretty standard envelope like that, again to decorate or use however you want. Again, I've given you plain ones of these, so you can either use them as is or have fun trying to do what I do, and decorate them either with collage, with napkin, whatever you want. Printables, you can decorate them with printables. And then here I included the covers that I use. So this is what I use for my small envelope covers. I'll give you an example here. That was using an envelope. Another one, this was using this exact same envelope. And you could also use that as a page in a journal too, which I have done. But I tend to reserve those for covers. And then this is the large size one. And this is how I make these journals, my large envelope size journals. So that is exactly this. So you can really transform those and turn them into amazing things. So that's why I gave you some blank examples and then some examples of what I've done with them. So you can transform this into something stunning. You can transform this into something stunning. But again, you don't have to. I know not everyone likes doing the whole collage and flourishes and all that. You just want basic junky journals, and that is wonderful too. I like being more of I see it more as like an artistry thing. As an artist, I like creating my own pieces with them. So this is like art to me. Instead of using paint or pencils, I'm using fabrics and papers and napkins and lace. But again, I have no problem just using that as well. It's just as a creative outlet, I like to do stuff like this for fun. So yeah, those are the envelope packs. So a little sample pack there of envelopes, a little sample pack here of handmade goodies. So, you know, a lot of time and effort has gone into making all of these pieces. So I've had these packs made ever since last year. Actually, I've been putting these together since last year, and they've just been sitting in a basket this whole time because I haven't been able to part with these because I get attached to the things I make. Because like I said, it takes time and effort to make these. I've individually, you know, worked on these, and I just have had these sitting there for like half a year. And like, finally, okay, we just got to do it, guys. We're using the treasures. We're getting rid of the things. We're decluttering. We're making space to bring new things in. That's one of my things that I'm focusing on this year with the Intentional Life course, is to finally use them, clear up space, make room for what is new, what's coming. So out with the old and with the new. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this look at what I have put together, and I really hope you like them and enjoy them. And the link is down below to my Etsy shop if you're interested in grabbing them. Otherwise, feel free to use this as inspiration for your own making at home, and check out any of the other videos for tutorials and how I use them. The aim is, with sharing all of this, is to inspire you at home to create and use your own artistry for your own enjoyment. That's the whole reason, just so you get joy out of creating beautiful things. Yeah, I'm rambling now, but I hope you're doing really well, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys. A big thank you to my beautiful patrons who supported me in June. I could not do this without you, so thank you so much for helping me do this channel and be a full-time creative. If you would like to become a patron, there is a link to my Patreon down below in the description box, where you get access to extra videos and printables and mail and journals, depending on what tier that you would like to support me at. You can also check my journaling courses down below in the description box, and all the different places to find me there too.